You guys are never going to believe what I just saw at the grocery store. So I went to the grocery store to do pickup order, but then I was like, I'm going to walk inside and see, like, you know, what's going on if the shelves empty. And the shelves are pretty good, some parts. But what I noticed, which I thought was super fun, is right when you walk into the grocery store, they were building a display, which is normal, but out of top ramen. I should have checked the price too, but I was just like, I've never seen them build like when you walk into a store to see top ramen. And the guy was like, oh, we don't have enough beef, so let's just do chicken and shrimp. And I'm thinking, yeah, because there's going to be a beef shortage. There's already a beef shortage. I don't know if I'm just like overthinking it, but I thought putting top ramen as an entry point display for a grocery store when it's normally like alcohol or like seasonal food was a little suspect.
Riddle me this about the port situation. You remember about a year ago, the port workers, the union workers, went on a strike for maybe a week or so, can't remember, and everything kind of shut down on the ports. Why ain't those guys coming up telling us what's up going on at the ports? Riddle me that. Because why ain't the union stepping up saying anything? Because if the ports are coming empty, what's going to happen to them? Are they going to have work to do? Or are they going to get laid off? Are they about to go on another strike? I don't know. Just riddle me that, because we need to hear from them people. So if you work on a port anywhere around America and you were part of the union strike last year and it got negotiated and worked out,
when the pots are empty and the shelves are bare, people don't just complain, they panic. And right now, that's exactly what's happening across America. From grocery stores to big box retailers, it's chaos. Hello guys, welcome back to Trending Pulse Worldwide. My name is Amy. So, in recent weeks, clips have flooded social media showing Americans rushing into stores, filling carts with anything they can grab. Why, you may ask? Because shelves are going empty and fast, and some say it's due to inflation, others blame supply chain issues. But whatever the cause, the fear is real and people are reacting. So let's check out some of these videos.
Folks, this is more than just a policy disagreement. This is a crisis. Right now, 95% of America's ibuprofen comes from China, and yet Donald Trump, in his reckless crusade of 145% tariffs, is threatening to yank affordable medicine right out of our medicine cabinets. We're not talking about luxury goods. We're talking about pain relievers, antibiotics, life-saving generics that 90% of Americans rely on. These aren't just tariffs. They're price hikes on the sick. They're empty pharmacy shelves. They're COVID-style shortages for families already struggling to afford basic care. Trump says he's tough on China, but the only people feeling the pain are you and me. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical companies, they don't know whether to invest or pull out, because Trump's chaos economics change with the wind. We need leadership that's smart, steady, and puts American families first. We need to strengthen our supply chains, not sabotage them.
I don't care. All these videos on this app about how in 3 weeks the grocery stores are going to be empty, good. Take some precautions, but let that play out. Farmers on this app boo-hooing because they're losing their farms. What did you think was going to happen? Joe Biden bailed you out, then you turned around and voted for Trump. So yeah, I'm glad that all your government grants and bailouts and farmer welfare got taken away from you. And I hope to God a Democrat buys your land and is profitable. Truckers. Oh my God, the amount of truckers on my algorithm right now boo-hooing that they don't have any loads, which by the way, at first is kind of funny. But what? 90% of you voted for this. What the
So right now, the talk on the internet is, the ports and everything right now. Looks like here in the United States, these ports are looking scarce. And everybody's fear-mongering and saying, now the shelves are going to be empty. Go out and get all your essentials. Hey, maybe. But I will say this. For people who think that the United States standing up to China is a bad thing, it's like you have no idea really what is actually going on. Here's what you got to understand too about China is they're not playing games either. And the games that they're trying to play is some that if you really think right now that we live in a time that there's not a country out there that's trying to take over the world. People want to, say that it's Russia or that it's even the United States. But look at what China is doing. First, look what China's doing in Africa, okay? Do your own research. But I will say this, look at also what they're doing in Mexico, okay? They're taking all of their Chinese factories, they're building them in Mexico. You would think that they would hire Mexican employees, but that's wrong. All they're doing is they're sending Chinese nationals to go work in Mexico and fill these positions, meaning that there's Mexicans who are not getting jobs. And the Mexicans over there are like, yo, what's going on? Many of them, there's a ceramic company called Time Ceramics. They haven't paid Mexicans in 4 months. In 4 months, these Mexican laborers have been working there and have not got paid. It's all over TikTok. And I'm just like, yo, where are all my people who are like, Mexico, like, where are you at? Because somebody's got to do something about that. And it's unfortunate that I don't know if that government is going to do anything about it.
Are Walmart shelves totally empty? Let's go see. I feel like everybody's saying the shelves are empty, the shelves are empty. And if there's one thing about me, I hate fear mongering. So let's go see if it's true. All right, I'll get to food in a second, but it's also very important to have first aid. Honestly, the over-the-counter pain medicine looks pretty good. For my friends with babies, the formula does not look too shabby. The same with diapers, but I will say the wipes look a little sparse. Dog food is, again, the shelves are fine, but this is pretty empty up at the top where they have the overstock. The cat food section is looking a lot better. The dry food is a little empty up at the top, but as you can see up at the top, they have the overstock for the cat. That's the canned cat food. Juice is super empty, and the aisle with like Capri Suns and stuff was super empty as well. The milk section looks pretty soft, maybe like a little sparse, but nothing crazy. There are definitely some gaps in like the almond milk and stuff like that. The yogurt section is very sparse. There is not a lot. The shelves are pretty empty. Okay, here's the meat section. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't eat meat, so I never come here. It doesn't look super empty to me. Maybe like this is a little empty, the sausages and stuff. And maybe a little bit for the hot dogs, but it's definitely like nothing super crazy. And then let me walk down to the lunch meat. That also, oh no, that is a little bit empty. Not terribly, but definitely some gaps. This looks relatively empty again. This is like chicken breasts and stuff like that. I think the pork looks okay, at least to me. It doesn't look super empty. And then down here to like steaks and beef. Definitely a few gaps. The soups and all the ramen is looking pretty good. The tuna and chicken is looking pretty decent. Canned tomatoes and pasta sauce are looking pretty full with a little bit of overstock left on the top. Canned vegetables are not looking too shabby. I don't see any huge gaps anywhere. Dried beans are definitely pretty empty. Rice, kind of the same thing, not looking super great. Actually, honestly, the big bags of rice, like the 10 and 20 pound bags, are completely gone. Flour is not terrible, but definitely some gaps.
So, as you know, the US-China trade war has created a perfect storm for global supply chains. And with tariffs and trade policies making goods from China more expensive and harder to ship, many companies are looking to other sources or reducing their imports. But that's not enough to keep up with demand. The lack of staff to handle the growing influx of shipment only makes things worse. Now, this is where panic shopping comes in. When people hear about these delays and see shelves starting to empty, it sparks fear. Better buy now before it's all gone, they think. But what happens is the more people buy in bulk, the faster those shelves get wiped out. And the harder it is for everyone to get what they need. And the problem is growing by the day. And it's not just affecting groceries. People are seeing delays in everything from electronics to clothing to construction supplies. So the bigger issue here is that these tariffs are a long-term problem. And it's not just a shortage today, but a pattern you may have to deal with for months or weeks. And fewer imports means higher price and less choice. And as the ports remain backed up and the trade war continues, it's going to be a tough road ahead for both businesses and consumers. And with all that said, drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's have this conversation. And kindly don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending stories and reactions together with updates on these major global issues. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.